And hopefully we're recording, I have no idea. All right, friends. So at this time, we're going to get started because I think we've taken enough time and hopefully people have figured ways around to be able to use their computer at the same time as they participate in this. Right, so the first step in creating a virtual classroom or a Bitmoji classroom, you use Google Slides. So the first step that I would like everybody to do is to go to your Google Drive and create a new Google Slides document. So once you open Google Chrome, you're going to click on the little triangle, go down to Google Slides and make a new Google slide. When you open a blank Google slide, you'll find it has these two text boxes in them. If you click on the little blue edges of the text box so they're highlighted, you can delete them. We want to get rid of both of those text boxes so you don't have anything in your slide, it's completely blank. And if you don't see this symbol, Tina, what you want to do is when you open your school email, you'll see on the upper right-hand corner, there's a little grid of 8 little boxes, or 9 little boxes, a little 9 square. And if you click on that little 9 square, a menu will pop down that'll have Google Slides in it and Google Drive in it and stuff. If you
Laura, how do you delete all the text boxes?
You have to click on the edges of the blue rectangles so that you're not actually ready to type, but so that they're highlighted in blue with little squares in all the corners and stuff. And then you
But I
delete.
can only get it on the top one.
Hey, Max.
Yeah. I had to do it on the top circle once it's highlighted also.
Yep, do it. You can delete it anywhere you can.
All right, so when we're in slides, you go to blank.
Yep, you just want it to be blank. And the text boxes are default in the blank slide, and then you delete the text boxes. The next step is choosing your background. To choose your background, you're going to go to the top of the menu bar over your Google slide, and up at the top, there's a place that says background. You click on background, and then, you can't see it because it's behind the people here. Then you're going to go to choose image when the background box, chat box opens up. And we're going to choose an image from the web. Then you're going to select a background from the web, choose image from the web, and a little search box should open up on the right-hand side of your Google slide, like a search box. And what you're going to put for your search is wall and floor, or floor and wall, either one.
Okay, well, I have, when I hit the insert background, it gives me a chance to upload camera by URL, photos, Google Drive, Google image search.
Google image search. That's because we're doing classrooms. You could have any background you want. You could have a forest or a pond or under the ocean or whatever you want. But since we're doing classrooms, we're going to do a floor and a wall. And then go ahead and choose a floor and a wall from those images that you think looks interesting. You'll click on it and select it. And then it'll take a minute to load and it'll say,
it says insert.
Insert, that's it, yeah. I chose this background. I thought it looked kind of interesting and different. I'm gonna have a wild classroom and someplace kind of prehistoric looking. Why not? So choose a background and insert it into your slide. That's the first step. And you can change everything later. Nothing is set in stone. Right now, we're just doing a quick build so you learn the skills. And then you're gonna, afterwards, the rest of whatever, if you're like me, it'll be the rest of your life. You'll find yourself going back and tweaking and playing with stuff, and you can always change things later. Background, furniture, everything. So have most people chosen a background at this point?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
So the next step is to get things to put in your room. So whatever you want to find to put in your room, you can search for it under, well, if you want to, you can go insert image and you can search the web, and you'll have that pop-up window where you can search, and you can say couch or chair or table or whatever you want. And if you add the words transparent background to your search, frequently you'll get an object without white behind it. Sometimes you don't, but a lot of times you'll get things with a transparent or removed background, which can be handy. Searching from within your Google slide, using this insert image search from the web, gives you certain things. I guess what I've been told is that the searches you get here from this little pop-up are all, you have permission to use them basically. They're all shareable. Whereas if you open a new tab and search for something, you get a lot more options, but they're not necessarily supposed to be shared. I mean, basically you can take a photograph or a screenshot of anything you want and upload that image or insert that image into your slide. If you have a poster in your classroom you love, you could take a photo of the poster, or you could go to the website where you bought the poster and download an image of it and insert it into your classroom. So go ahead and choose something to search for and see if you can insert it in front of your background in your slide you made. And anytime you get something, if it does have a background that you don't want to have there, you can drop it in remove.bg, which is a magical website that just takes backgrounds away from your photographs and screenshots and images that you collect that you want. And remove.bg will do its best to remove your background, but then if it's not quite right, you can click on edit and you can erase more or put image back if it doesn't do it quite right. Most of the time it does a really good job, unless it's like a dark image with a dark background. So I added a couch in mine. I Googled couch transparent background and I thought, oh, this looks kind of like a nice couch. So I threw it into my slide. I inserted it. Has everybody got some kind of thing inserted into their room?
Mm-hmm.
Just any
No.
object is fine. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, just any object.
So it
Laura,
gets
how do you delete an object that you put in?
If you click on the object so it has the blue lines around it, then just hit delete on your keyboard.
so we're going to, you're going to insert and then finding an object.
Yep, just choose any object you would like to try to go to insert image, search the web, and choose an object. Any object can be a piece of furniture or whatever you would like to stick in your room.
Laura,
Yes.
my background still has the text box that says click to add or whatever click to add title. How do I get rid of that?
To get rid of the text box, you want to try to have it highlighted but not blinking in the middle, which means you have to click your mouse on the very edge of the blue text box so that it's still highlighted, but it's not trying to get you to type in it, and then hit delete on your keyboard.
It's not doing.
Maybe don't worry about it for right now, and I'll keep
Okay,
going, and
I'll just leave it.
afterwards I can help you with that if you would like.
Yeah, Tina, it has to be just right on the edge and then
Yeah,
hit
it's
on your,
tricky to click
yeah.
right on the edge of the blue box.
In the corner or on the like top or bottom?
You know, one of the things I've noticed is when you have the little crisscross, like the little plus sign on the edge, that means you're clicking in the right place. If you can click on the plus sign on the edge, not in the middle, but on the edge, then that'll highlight the very edge of it usually. But Tina, you know what? You can just make it small by dragging the corner so it's not distracting
Yeah,
you for
that's what
now.
I'm doing.
And actually, after you drag the corner, try hitting delete and it might go away. And I'm going to keep going, okay? Because I think most people are
I'm
ready
good.
to go. All right. So I added this couch to mine, as you can see on my screen. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about working with the images that you download. When you get a picture off of the internet, or this was a photo of my cat that I dropped into remove.bg to take away the background. Once you have an image, a lot of times the frame of the image, the little blue dots, are really far away from the thing you have, the couch or the table or the chair or the cat or the dog or whatever image you want to drop into your slide. And that can be a real pain sometimes if you have URLs linked to things. Like this box blocks things, it gets in the way. So what I often do is I will click twice on the image, and if you double click, mine it's a left double click on the image, I get this black dotted box around the edges. And from that black dotted box, if I can get just the little black dashes and not the blue one and drag them in, I can make my image box smaller. I can crop the image box around the image I have to make it so it's not so big. And then you just click someplace else. Whoops, sorry, I shouldn't have clicked. Click someplace else on your page or off the page to make that be your new object. And that way the object gets smaller. That's just a handy thing to know down the road. You don't necessarily need to do anything with that right now. The other thing about images I wanted to talk about, if you right click on the image, you get format options, or I get format options. I should be careful because I'm on a Mac and things can be different for different people. And with format options, you can recolor, you can put a drop shadow. Those are two of my favorite things. Recolor is kind of weird. For some reason, you only get a choice of like 6 different colors. You can't just choose like purple, unfortunately. But there are shades of teal and green and blue and black and gray and tan. I don't know why those are the colors, but those are the recolor options if you want to change the color of your object. Drop shadow is another one of my favorites because I find it just gives the classroom more of a, or the objects in the classroom more of a 3D look to them. Sometimes drop shadows don't make a big difference, but sometimes I find drop shadows can be really helpful and make things look much more like it's real 3D. So try clicking on your image in your slide and then right click on it to see if you can open up format options and give your object a drop shadow and look at what it does or doesn't. Click that on and off and look at what a drop shadow does for you. And you don't have to use it, but just it's good to know what it does so that you can play with it if you want to. So I changed the color of my couch using those format options to be this tan color, and I added a drop shadow to my couch.
I don't see that.
Oh, I see that.
Mine says cut, copy, paste, format, delete.
Format.
Oh, paste without formatting? No.
No.
Crop image.
If you click,
replace
if you
image.
click right, Tina, do you get you don't get format options in the list there?
If I click right, I get a box that says cut, copy, paste.
Yep.
Keep going all the way
Keep going
down.
down.
It's under animate.
Format options.
That's the one. And then format options looks kind of like this, and there's recolor, and you can click on no recolor to give it a color, and you can click on drop shadow to give it a drop shadow. And there's a bunch of other stuff. I find the sizing and positioning kind of a little too fiddly because it's like by pixels and stuff. It's a little too tech for me.
Gotcha.
So I recolored my couch and I gave it a shadow. Now we're going to look a little more at working with images. If you go to the menu bar up at the top of your slide, you'll see arrange is one of your options. And under arrange, there is order. And ordering your objects can be very important if you're going to give them live links, because you want kids to be able to click on the thing you want them to click on and not have it hidden behind something else. And also in terms of how your classroom looks, you might want to bring something forward or send something back. Like if I had a plant, I might not want the plant in front of the couch, I might want the plant behind, so I would send it backwards. And arrange and rotate is also another thing that's very handy under arrange if you want to flip an object's direction horizontally or vertically or anything like that. So rotate and order are two things I use a lot.
It shows me the box, but it doesn't let me click on anything. If I click on arrange.
Do you have an object that's highlighted blue yet?
Yep.
Your image that you downloaded?
Okay, wait a minute.
Make sure it's highlighted with a blue box around it first.
Okay.
Then go to arrange and you should have options showing up.
Okay.
Good. So I flipped and I resized the couch to put it on the other side of my classroom.
Excuse me, Laura.
Yes.
Should, on my slide, I still have click to add subtitle and click to add title. Is that should be gone?
Yeah, you can delete those by clicking on the edge and hitting delete. Okay. Or just resize them small so they're out of your way for now if it's hard to delete them.
Yeah.
Anna, if you resize it, Do you know how to grab the little corner and drag it to make it a different size?
Yeah.
Drag it to make it a different size. Don't click in it, and then just hit delete on your keyboard and it should delete it.
Just make it really tiny.
Yeah, and then, but then lift your hand off the mouse pad and click delete on your keyboard and it should go away completely.
Oh, I did it. Thank you, Laura.
Good.
Yeah.
My
Thank you.
my whole slide is very small now. How do I make that bigger? The whole slide looks small now on the page.
Is your page still big and the slide is small within the page?
Yes.
I think there's a little magnifying glass up at the top in the menu bar that you can click on, or maybe there's a view options up at the top.
Oh, I do see a little magnifying glass that says Zoom.
All right, so once you've played with your object a little bit, and those of you who are ready to go at a faster pace, just keep grabbing more objects if you want to. Put stuff in your room you'd like to collect for your classroom someday, and realize this is just a draft. This can be a collecting place for cool stuff you find. The next step might be, or at some point, you're going to want to add a Bitmoji. Now, you can't make your Bitmoji on your computer. To make a Bitmoji, you have to use a smartphone, and you have to download the Bitmoji app. And then you create your Bitmoji, you design something that's in your likeness. And then you can get the Chrome add-on, the Bitmoji add-on for Chrome, and that'll give you a little box like this in your upper right-hand corner of your menu bar when you open Chrome. And that makes it easy to grab Bitmoji to drop into your classroom. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole process of how to make your Bitmoji person right now, but I will share a video that'll walk you through that. Making your Bitmoji likeness of yourself, some people get really into it and take quite a while doing it. You don't have to take a long time doing it, but some people really enjoy trying to make it, tweaking it to look just like themselves. And so that can be kind of time consuming. So we're not actually going to do that right here. And it's also not something you can do on a computer. You have to do it on a smartphone. So you can download the Bitmoji app to your smartphone if you have good Wi-Fi right now, if you want to, if you haven't done it before. And if you have already made your Bitmoji and you've downloaded the Chrome app, you can click on the little Chrome add-on at the top of your Chrome window and
how do you add a Chrome app? I have a Bitmoji on my phone.
Okay, so what you would do is open a new tab on your Chrome search bar. So you're not in your slides anymore.
You mean on my laptop?
On your laptop, yep. Open
Laura
a new tab.
Laura, I
Yes.
have a Bitmoji already, but do I have to do one under my school email, or can I upload the one?
You can
From my
upload the one you
regular
have from your
email.
phone, from your regular email.
Okay.
Then Tina, once you open a new tab, or anybody else
Yep.
looking to put the Chrome add-on on your computer, in the new
Yep.
tab, type in the search bar, type get Chrome Bitmoji add-on, or get Bitmoji add-on, or Bitmoji extension. I think either one will work.
Get Bitmoji.
Emoji extension. Okay.
And once you do that, you should easily be able to find the Bitmoji add-on for Chrome, and a button will be on that screen that'll, if you click on that link, it'll say download or get it now or something like that. Click on it and it will magically appear on your computer once it's downloaded.
Okay, so Laura, there's Bitmoji Chrome Web Store or Bitmoji Chrome Extension. Which one do I open?
Bitmoji Chrome Extension?
Extension, okay.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay,
sure what
that's what
Chrome
I'm-
Web Store means. I assume it takes you to the same button in the end.
And Laura, when I was doing this, my little icon did not magically appear. I had to go into the toolbar and pin it to my toolbar.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So if it doesn't appear, go into that little toolbar. I think it's a plus sign. And then there'll be a little pin, and pin
Okay.
it to your toolbar, because it took me forever to find mine.
Oh, good to know. Thank you, Michelle.
I'm in the Bitmoji extension. Then what do you do from that?
Is there a button that says get it now or download it or add it to your Chrome or something?
Lost here.
Nope. Wait.
Does somebody
Add
else
the,
see it?
yeah.
What's it called?
Well, there's a blue highlighted, add the Bitmoji Chrome extension to your Chrome browser. That one?
That's the one.
Okay, that's the one. Tina, it's there. Keep going.
Okay, I think
it's
I
like in the
okay.
first paragraph.
All right.
Okay.
Now it's saying available on Chrome.
Yes, do it. Say, yes, please. Get it now.
I have so many tabs open right now. It's not even funny.
That sounds
Oh
like
my
me. I
God.
usually have at least a dozen tabs open.
It's all about practice.
I don't know.
Offered, doesn't say.
If you don't have Bitmoji on your phone, this isn't going to help you yet. You have to get Bitmoji. I mean, you can download it now, but you have to have the Bitmoji created on your phone to access it on your Chrome bar.
Allow
All right,
extensions.
save file.
Let's see.
So, I don't know. I'm lost. I'm not seeing where it says to download.
There's a square in the on the right hand side, Charles, says download Chrome. And then it will slowly start downloading. It's taking a long time.
It might be that downloading this extension will work a lot better when we're not Zooming. But if you've got it started, it should come with time.
Then does it say sign in? So it has me linked to my.
Yes. You'll need to
You
sign
would.
in using this. Make sure you sign in using the same account that you created your Bitmoji with on your phone. And that way all your Bitmoji stuff you already
I have
created
no
on
idea
your
what
phone.
account I did.
Yeah, I don't.
My phone.
I didn't
It's
either.
so old.
I didn't put it on an account. I just put it on an app on my
Me
Apple.
too.
When you, then it's probably whatever your Apple account is that it automatically defaults to. Like I have an Android phone, and so it had me create an account, and I think I just clicked on one of my Gmail accounts to open it.
Well, can I just do a new Bitmoji on here, or does it have to be?
You can do a new Bitmoji, but you have to create your Bitmoji on your phone. You cannot create a Bitmoji on the computer, unfortunately. You just, on the computer, you access the Bitmoji you've created on your phone. So you can create a new account on your phone if you don't know how you logged in, if that's easier for you.
You put it in the screen.
Okay, mine said it downloaded. Now it gave me. Oh my God.
Tina, maybe
What?
you and I should do our own Zoom sometime.
Personal tutoring.
I'm glad to walk you through this, but I don't want to make everybody else wait if other people are
Oh,
ready to keep
going.
going.
I'll listen. I'll just write stuff down as you go, and if I can't do it.
All right, and Tina, I'm glad to hang out with you this afternoon or some other time and do more of this because I love this stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Laura, I have a question.
Yes.
It's so I had I guess it's downloaded, but it says we've added your avatar to the compose bar. I'm sorry, what does that mean?
That should mean that it shows up on this little bar up here, I think, unless your compose bar is for an email or something that I don't know about. So this is when I have my Chrome browser open.
Okay.
These are some of my many tabs I had open that day when I took this screenshot. The little Bitmoji icon should show up near the top of your Chrome browser, right up there where you have your little Zoom icon and little dots and different things once it's downloaded to your Chrome. Do you see it up there, Michelle?
Like next to untitled presentation, star, that and that.
The star, the little, untitled presentation, then the little Zoom icon maybe, and then Bitmoji icon. If
Laura, let me jump in. If she doesn't see it, click on that plus sign right on Laura's screen. See the plus sign?
I have to go back to that. The plus sign right up here.
See,
right here?
Yes. Click on that plus sign and you might get a drop down and it will have pin that, which means it'll kind of wake it up and put it on your
menu bar.
On your toolbar.
I'm so
That's where
sorry
mine
to take
was.
people's time, but where is that thing that you're circling? I have a Mac too, and I don't see that on my. I see the untitled presentation, then above that is my toolbar for my computer.
Yep, it's
Oh.
just to the right of the untitled presentation. There should be that plus sign.
Next to the star and the arrow and the check mark?
Yeah, to the right of that. No plus.
Well, way up at the top, there's a plus sign, but that opens up a new Google thing. And I'm sorry, I'll talk to you privately. I don't want to hold everybody up.
Okay,
On mine, the Bitmoji part was up at the top where you see the where you see the star right next to it. There's like a weird little shape. You click on that, and my Bitmoji was in there.
Okay.
Yeah, mine magically appeared, so I don't know.
Oh, wait a
I'm
minute.
glad everybody's here. It's good to crowdsource these challenges.
That's where mine was too. Now I have it.
Good.
Yep. Where you see there's the star, and then to the right of the star, before the 3 dots, there's some weird figure, and if you put your thing over it, it says extensions, and if you click on that, it'll be good. It
All
should
right,
be.
so right here, Melissa, is that what you're saying? Right between the star and the 3 dots, you might have a weird little shape to clip on?
Yes,
Click on?
exactly.
All right.
Isn't it the little square that looks like a television on a green one?
Yes, it's a little
Yeah.
green
Yeah, that's-
television-y
yeah.
smiley face looking thing.
That's what I have on mine.
All right. Once you've got that, that lets you link to the Bitmoji you created on your phone. And if you haven't built your Bitmoji on your phone yet, don't worry, just make sure you log in the same way you created this one so that they're connected. You can do it later. Should I go on? People good?
Sure.
All right. Okay, so once you've got the Google extension for Bitmoji, the next step is going to be choosing a Bitmoji. When I click on that little green TV smiley face at the top, the Bitmoji logo, I get this window that pops up with popular things at the top, popular Bitmoji positions or little sayings and stuff at the top. If you type the word pose, P-O-S-E, you can frequently get a Bitmoji that's just standing there or waving or sitting without as much of the peripheral garbage around them, which you can cut out, and you can drop your Bitmoji into remove.bg to get rid of the background if you don't want it. But sometimes you can find one that's just the Bitmoji without a background. If you don't have Bitmoji up and running on your computer yet, don't worry. You can do that later, and I'm glad to work with you this afternoon. We could do an all Bitmoji meeting this afternoon if you wanted. And all of this PowerPoint and all the instructions and other videos about doing it are linked to you'll get all of that also. So if you choose a Bitmoji, if you see a Bitmoji you like, you can right click on it and then say copy image when you right click on a Bitmoji, and then go back to your PowerPoint and paste image, and you can put your Bitmoji in your classroom that way.
I'm gonna go find my Bitmoji password.
Okay.
So I figured it out how to get to extension.
Today's book is Dr. Seuss's ABC.
Laura.
Yes.
Hi, I have a Bitmoji made. I made it on my phone, but I don't know how to make it on my computer.
Okay, so Jessica, what you need to do on your computer is you need to open a new tab in your browser and say get Bitmoji extension or get Bitmoji Chrome add-on or whatever, and download it to your computer, and then you can put it up in the menu bar at the top next to it.
Yeah, it's really easy. Once you figured it out how to do it, it goes right over there.
So so
Takes
once you get
time.
the add-on, Jessica, what you're going to do is put it right up, have it right up here in your bar, and that way you can click on it when you're in Google Slides and grab any Bitmoji you want by copying it and pasting it into your slide.
Okay, thank you.
You just have to make sure you log into this Bitmoji account using whatever account information you used on your phone originally so that they're linked.
Okay.
Has anybody been able to drop a Bitmoji of themselves in their classroom?
Yes.
Yes.
Yay!
Yes.
Good. All right. Then I thought a plant would be nice. So I did an insert image, search the web, and I grabbed a plant, transparent background again after my search. And then I thought a puppy would be nice. So I did a puppy search for images, transparent background, and dropped it into my room. And I gave him a drop shadow because I thought he looked better with a shadow, more realistic.
Oh,
And then it's a good idea to have places to write things. So you could have a chalkboard or a whiteboard or a TV or whatever you want to write on. And then you can put a text box by going to the top of your slide where it says insert text box, and you can put a text box on top of your screen or whiteboard or chalkboard or whatever you want to insert in your classroom. And then your text box, you can type whatever you want.
Laura, can I stop you for one quick second?
Sure.
So I got all the Bitmoji done. How do I get my Bitmoji into the classroom?
So
Sorry.
yes, if you go to, if you click on the little TV set icon at the top, it should open
the
a
top,
Bitmoji
yep.
window.
Is that it? I think
That's
I found
it.
it. Oh
And then
my gosh, I'm so excited.
Oh, awesome. And then if you click on that little magnifying glass of the search thing and you type the word pose, you can find a lot of Bitmoji that are just like standing or pointing or sitting or different expressions on their faces with less of the peripheral like stuff around them and writing and things.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm actually sharing a document that has all kinds of Bitmoji key search words to get all different kinds of Bitmoji in different positions also. So the adding stuff to your slide, that's where I like totally found myself, like days were slipping away and I wasn't sleeping and eating. You can keep doing that and going with that as long as you want. You can keep editing things and, you know, making things the way you want them. So I'm not going to like wait for everybody to create a classroom. I just want to make sure you have the skills so that you can tweak and create and do what you want with your classrooms on your own time, however you want to do it. Also, I have admitted a lot of people while we were doing this, and I'm not sure how many of you were just logging in on a different device. If there's anybody who joined us who wasn't here in the beginning, please make sure to write your name in the chat so that we have a record of your attendance today. So once you have some objects in your room, a Bitmoji Classroom is not just a pretty picture. A Bitmoji Classroom is an interactive tool for students to use. Once you have objects in your room, the thing is to link them to different websites and different pages in your presentation or different whatever you want to link them to. So inserting a link is an important skill. Like you might have a picture of Lexia and then you want to insert a link on the little picture of the Lexia logo on your chalkboard or whatever. And to insert, and that way when a kid clicks on the Lexia picture, they go right to their Lexia account or whatever it is you want to link to, extra math or whatever you're using, or a YouTube video. So to add a link, what you need to do is click on an object so that it has blue around the edges. So it's highlighted. And then you're going to go to where it says insert link. That's up at the top of your screen, insert on the tab on the top, and then scroll down till you get to the little chain link where it says link. And once you've done that, you'll have a little box that'll pop up where you can insert whatever link you want. The box that pops up looks a little like this. You can copy and paste a URL, web address for a YouTube video that you want that object to link to. You can copy and paste the URL for going to Lexia or extra math or whatever you want. Or you could choose slides in this presentation. If you want to have that button take the child to another slide where you have today's playlist of videos for the kids to watch, or this week's playlist, or whatever you want. You can put a web address here, or you can click on slides in this presentation and choose a slide to link to. And then you click apply to make it happen. I like to use a lot of videos from YouTube in my instruction. And in class, I would just go to YouTube and have it up on the projector or the TV. when I send the links home, I don't like to send home YouTube links because there are advertisements and there's autoplay sometimes that'll come on afterwards. And there's all kinds of stuff that does not feel appropriate for my students. So when I link to a YouTube link, I like to use a website called safeyoutube.net. Safeyoutube.net is a website where you can type in, or you can paste any URL and then say create a safe link, and it'll create a link that'll make it so when you go to that link, or when you put that link in your object, so a kid clicks on that object, they just go to that YouTube video with just a frame around it, no advertisements, no other videos around it, nothing inappropriate gonna pop up. I like to use safeyoutube.net when I post YouTube links on my objects in my classrooms.
I had Tom Jones over here, but
For the most part, I found it very reliable. There was one brief half day when it was down, but I think it's been up for the job so far. It seems like a lot of educators are using it. It seems to be stable enough to be reliable.
So if you have a YouTube link that you want to share, first you would take that YouTube link and then put it into the safeyoutube.net.
Yes, that's what I would do. And then it gives you a new link, and that new link you get from safeyoutube.net is what I would paste in here.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. That's just optional. If you'd rather give straight to YouTube, or if you're doing a link that's for parents, you might not care about making it safe YouTube. I just like to do that with my YouTube links. Now, there are a couple of ways of saving your classroom. You can save it as a PDF, which is, I forget, oh yeah, there it is, I wrote it down. Portable document format, which is easily shared, and it has live links, so like anything you link to will work when somebody downloads the PDF and clicks on it, but embedded videos will not run, and you have to download a new PDF anytime you make changes. Now, last year, I found that some of my parents didn't really like to download PDFs, and frankly, I get that. I don't like to download all kinds of stuff and just have it on my computer. I prefer to share my Google Classroom by putting it into a Google site rather than downloading it as a PDF. When you put it in a Google site, it automatically updates anytime I change my slides document. I don't have to create a new one each time. If I put my classroom into a PDF format, I could send that PDF link out to families. They can download it and look at it, but anytime I make a change, I have to make a new PDF and download it and send it to the families. Changes I make on my computer won't show up on their PDFs. If I put my Google Classroom into a Google site, embed it in a Google site, then any changes I do, if I want to add lessons each day or change the lessons each day that are up on the chalkboard, that automatically shows up on the website. So I prefer to share it in a website, but it's good to know how to download it as a PDF. Some people like to do this, especially if you're doing a slide that's like a one-time thing. Like you want to make a welcome back to school card that's interactive, or you want to make a, hello, nice to meet you, I'm your teacher, interactive about introducing yourself. Something that you're not going to update and change, but you want the students to all get it. You could create a PDF by going to File at the top of your menu bar, Download, and then scroll over to PDF Document, and it'll download a PDF of the little classroom you just made. And you'll be able to take that PDF and share it use the link at the top to share it with anybody you want to share it with. With these, your imagination is maybe the only limitation. You can do whatever you want, whatever is interesting to you. I've shared some different things that I thought were just like different ways of using it. For example, this is the classroom I created last year. And there's Tina over on the left, and I think I'm over on the right behind your pictures there. And this was how I did it last year. This year, things are obviously going to be different as we create landing pages and have different requirements. I did have links to parents under the Keith Haring picture of the parent and child over on the right. link to ABC Mouse. These link to Flipgrid and link to our Zoom, and a lot of links to different rooms because I created all kinds of different rooms and centers. This is the virtual office. That's the front office. And there's Helene's Bitmoji right there. And this is from our virtual DKIS school. So you could do a classroom, you could do an office, you can do whatever you want. This is somebody's Christmas library. Many people have created virtual libraries that are thematic, different kinds of libraries, and the possibilities are just like almost endless. This is a GIF that's embedded in the slide. It's just a short looping video that goes around and around. You can insert GIFs, and this is a GIF also, the flashing Christmas lights. You can insert GIFs in your slides to have them have a little life to them. You can insert music, all kinds of things. This was a slide I did, and you can barely see my Bitmoji running off the corner over here, but basically I linked each of the dinosaurs to different videos about dinosaurs. You don't have to use walls and floors. You can use anything you want in the background. It's really amazing all the, you know, creative options you have. And I used my cat down in the lower left there as the return to home button on all of my slides I made last year. And then, you know, this was just a picture of a gym I found that I thought was kind of cool, and the GIF of the basketball.
Rosie,
But,
please dial 1008. Rosie, please dial 1008.
Rosie, dial 1008.
Sorry.
That's all right. So
God, I wasn't on.
I just included some slides, just different kinds of slides to help you think about like that there are many options of what you can do. Like this was the bathroom I created, and I actually put this in I took out my Bitmoji and put it in the virtual school. Every bubble links to a video about COVID safety, social distancing, washing your hands, all that kind of stuff. And this is a GIF right here of the little sparkly things on the bubbles there.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have made virtual plan books, and I shared a bunch of those with you. These are beautiful. You can click on the tab and go to the month, click on within the month, click on weeks, birthdays, goals. There's all kinds of stuff in these plan books people have made virtually using Google Slides. And then, you know, you could use portions of it for yourself or for subs, or you could use parts of it for sharing plans with your students. This is a Google Slide calendar somebody made for their class, and it's interactive. Like when you're in the live version of it, this is just a screenshot, but when you're in the live version of it, you can like drag today's date and the weather over. So this is something somebody created in Google Slide that I shared with you that you might want to use at your Zoom morning meetings. If you share your screen, and then you could do calendar this way with your students. Or you could have this, you know, use parts of this and link it to lessons you're teaching or whatever. Some people have made Google Slide journals, student notebooks, and these tabs all go to different things, the reading log, and these are different reading reflections where the kids can actually post with videos, and I shared that with you.
How are you finding these, Laura?
Bitmoji Craze for Educators is a Facebook group, and the link is at the end of this. Bitmoji Craze for Educators is a Facebook group of the most generous educators on the planet. They share everything, and most of these things I have gotten from, and all of my inspiration I have gotten from Bitmoji Craze for Educators. If you are on Facebook, join that group and you will have so many free downloads. Your Google Drive will be full and cluttered, and you'll be overwhelmed by all the wonderful, inspiring options. This was a group of teachers in that group that in the Bitmoji Craze for Educators, there was, I think it was like one school of teachers who decided they wanted to put together field trips around the United States. And they basically have one or more pages for every single state with links to all kinds of virtual field trips in that region. So if you're teaching your kids about an area, you could go to this and grab some links to some ideas. How about a fort? Isn't that fun? Build a fort. You could have a build a fort slide with activities in it and reading books to read in your fort or whatever. So there's lots and lots of options with creating these Bitmoji classrooms, lots of different fun things you can do. Play around, have fun.
Laura.
Yes.
I just had a question. When you showed the calendar one where you could manipulate it, that's something you would do whole group, or is it kind of like a Google slide where you would make copy for A and they can do it individually, or?
You can do it either way. You could make copies for the kids. Do you use Google Classroom?
I do.
Okay, so with Google Classroom, you could make a copy of this for every kid and have the kids do it individually. In pre-K and perhaps kindergarten, I'm not sure, we would be more likely to use it in a Zoom, sharing our screen with the students.
Right.
So, you know, you can use it however you want. Let me talk a little about the resources I'm sharing, because that I have not talked about. I'm going to exit this window. So on this presentation that you all had to go to find me here, you will see that there are here, if you click on this flag right here, that will get you to a really good video that's all about making your Bitmoji on your phone and downloading the Chrome extension to your computer. So in this presentation, which I've shared with you also, you'll find all of this. This is the Zoom we're in right now. There's a video about how to make your Bitmoji Classroom. If you're feeling like, oh, this is too much and you want to go back in a day or two, I recommend this video rather than this recording, which goes on and has big pauses. And then there's written directions afterwards, which I pasted in here, which are basically from the presentation we just went through. So these should all look familiar to you. Then adding links. If you want to learn about adding audio, you can click on this little TV dude, this little GIF, to get a video about adding different types of audio. You can add audio buttons, or you can have background sound like this slide if you went to it before.
Can you, Laura, can you like
sounds of the rainforest? Sorry, Tina, what?
Can you record your voice reading a story and like add it to a story onto the Google Classroom?
Yep,
so,
absolutely.
Like, your emojis reading a story to them?
Yep. I like to use, what do I use? I always forget the name of it when I need it. I don't know, there's a variety of different ways depending on what you have for recording on your computer. And you can record it any way you want and any way you can on your computer or your phone and make a recording of it. And then you can put a button in there if you want. The other way I like to do books is, or sometimes if I find a book online, but I want to add the voice to it, is I downloaded this Chrome extension that's called Loom. And Loom lets you record your screen with a little picture of your face in the corner talking if you want.
Okay.
So on the virtual classroom PD, there's, let's see, why am I not going through here? There's inserting audio. Yes?
You know how you had a picture of Tina and you both in the same room?
Yep.
How do you do that?
You just have them email you a copy of their Bitmoji. You can't really make different Bitmoji in your own account because it makes yours disappear. But if you get coworkers or whatever to create their own Bitmoji and then email it to you, you can copy that image and paste it anywhere you want.
Okay, thanks.
Yep. Adding a GIF to your image is really pretty simple to do. You insert, when you're in slides, if you go to insert image, but instead of doing a upload it from the computer or search the web for your image, you're going to, wait, I'm not highlighted in the right place. When you're in the slide, go to insert image, you're going to, oh yeah, right here, you're going to do it by URL. And that it was going to be, you're going to get a URL for a GIF by going to a website that has GIFs like Giphy.com. And at Giphy.com, you can grab a any little animation you like and click on it and get the URL, copy it, and then paste it in this add by URL. And that's how you get these different little moving images in your slides. Animating your Bitmoji, it's a lot of steps. I find it really confusing, but there's a really good video about it right here on this computer. You have to create your Bitmoji in the Bitmoji app, and then you have to open Snapchat and get a Snapchat Bitmoji animation filter to get your Bitmoji moving. And then you have to figure out you have to put it into an app to remove the background and then insert it in your slide. It's fun, but it is definitely many steps. And then this is about creating the website, and we'll do a Zoom about that at 10 o'clock in 20 minutes. And how to upload to the web. Yes.
Does it automatically save into your drive when you create your classroom? Or
It is.
Do you have to save it? Okay.
It is automatically saved. You probably want to give it a name.
Because what happened was, yeah, because I was playing with it and then everything deleted. So I had to recreate it, but I couldn't find it.
Oh, that's not good. I recommend when you make your new slide, giving it a name up top, and that way you can search for it. Right now, if you search in your Google Drive for Untitled, you might find it, because its name is Untitled until you give it a name. So at the very end of this,
I got it back though. But.
Okay, at the very end of this presentation, close to the very end, there are some resources. That's where I have the link to Bitmoji Craze for Educators. Doesn't work right now because I'm not in present mode, but maybe I'll do that actually. Bitmoji Craze for Educators is an amazing resource Facebook group. If you're on Facebook and you're interested in this, I highly recommend joining them. This is a simple K-12 Bitmoji workshop slides. Thank you, Carol Welburn, for sharing those with me. These are landing page templates I've created that we'll get to in a minute, and virtual Bitmoji classroom resources. This is my Google Drive folder that I've shared with you all. It'll take a minute to get there. But when you click on that link, if you're in your school account, you will get here. If you're in a personal email account, when you click on it, it'll say ask for permission and you'll have to send me a request. But if you're in your school email, it should open automatically. And what you're getting here is virtual classroom resources, VC resources, I called it. And in that folder, there are templates and tutorials. And then there's these different documents. This is backgrounds. This is a collection of backgrounds I've gotten that I just thought were kind of nice. And there are 70 or 80 backgrounds there that you might want to choose from to get your background.
Wow.
There are lots. This is, if you click on this triangle right here, it's a link to this folder I've shared with you of virtual classroom resources.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
And in the backgrounds, there are, now I don't recommend a background with angled walls. I mean, here's a flat wall you could use, but when you get into angles, it gets very tricky making things look right if you want to put anything on the wall. But there are zillions of different backgrounds. So you can get, so that's just the white. Now it's getting into off-white and blues and greens. There are so many different options, and some of them have stuff in them already, and that's just the way they are. But you can choose whatever color palette or atmosphere you would like. Look at that, I want to be in a cave. Whatever you want for your classroom. And look, I threw the school in there in case you wanted to put the school. There's some really interesting ones here. Look at this room. Nothing, no way to hang anything on the wall in here, but isn't it beautiful? This one, I use this for my live animals. I put animals and animal GIFs all over it, and you could click on them and go to different animal cams for my students. There's just all kinds of different options of backgrounds you can use.
So Laura, do you like sleep?
That's my daughter's bedroom.
Laura,
yes.
How do you write something on a whiteboard?
You would go to this little text box up at the top of your menu bar, the top of your slides, and click on text box. And then wherever you click, it'll open a text box, and you can size it to fit on your chalkboard or whiteboard.
Okay, I don't see that text box. Oh, here it is, T, right.
So
click on that.
Yep, and then you can click on your document, on your slide, and it'll make a little blue box that you can start typing in. And then you use the corners to make it the shape and size you want. Right. You can change the font. Like if you're writing on a chalkboard, I find a light gray works best for the color. And I usually go to like a handwriting font at that point.
Excellent.
So there's all kinds of, now here's the, it started with just walls and backgrounds, but then it gets more into like whole classrooms that are here that people have shared. And if you wanted to use one of these backgrounds, you could, to get a little jump start. And there's some Harry Potter ones. And there's some, what is this? Friends, I think, backgrounds I found someplace. I don't know, just random backgrounds that I thought were okay. Oh, and I threw a good night moon. You can do a screenshot of anything and put a background in for it if you want. This was just some fantasy land I thought looked like fun. Monet's garden, why not, you know, where the wild things are. This is Monet's kitchen. I really like Monet's place. So you can put anything you want as a background in your slide. You don't need to be limited. So that's just the backgrounds. Then there's a whole slideshow full of rugs. There's a whole slideshow full of wall decor, a whole slideshow full of furniture, a whole slideshow full of objects, life. And in the life one, there's a lot of different plants. There are also animals. I've collected people's pets and stuff in here. There are also GIFs of little animals moving and stuff I've thrown in there. And that's an easy way to just highlight it in blue, copy, and then paste it in your slide if you want to throw something in without learning about using, you know, pasting GIFs with the URL. It's a whole bunch of lights and lighting. And then there's a whole bunch of kid emojis that I've collected, just if you want to throw some kids in your classroom or whatever.
Now, where are these again, Miss Laura?
This is if you click on at the end of the presentation to Laura's virtual Bitmoji Classroom resources, you have been shared this virtual classroom file.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Laura.
Yes.
That picture of Deacon's School, if you have it in the background folder, is that something we could minimize and kind of have a picture hanging in our classroom or something, or does it have to be the background?
Right, in this background folder, it is a background, but you can take a screenshot of it and make it any size you want.
Okay.
That's how I got it in my background, is I took a screenshot and then I went to insert background and I put it in there.
Perfect, thank you.
So you can put it in and take it out as you wish. So also in that file, the virtual classroom resources file I shared with you, are templates and tutorials. In the tutorials folder, there are all kinds of things, including this PD I just presented and the Google Slides of the PD that you accessed on the internet for the website that you were at to get here, to get to the Zoom, and all kinds of other stuff, all kinds of links. A lot of this I got from the Bitmoji Craze for Educators. If you look under templates, this in the templates section are things that are already done, slides that are already created, that you can copy and modify and paste and make your own. There's notebooks and calendars in this folder, all kinds of different colored plans and things. And there's the interactive calendar. A lot of different virtual planners for subs or for you or for whatever. This one's kind of a fun one. It just has all the months, and this person's added Bitmoji, and she has one version of each month with her, how she used her Bitmoji, and one version blank, where you, not blank, it has the thematic stuff of each month, but you can put your own Bitmojis in it. Also, there's the virtual classroom collection, and this is an obscenely large collection of things I've gotten off of Bitmoji Craze for Educators. Some of them are just like individual presentations, like here's the USA field trip with all the slides for all the different countries. Here's my classroom and all the centers I've created. Yellowstone National Park, there's the White House settings here. Here's some seasonal stuff going up to Christmas, habitat slides somebody created. Banners for doing Google Classroom, somebody's whole school. Here's a COVID poster using Bitmoji template. Here's the art studios that I sent to you before, Ralph. But the first, and here's interactive slides, making words, chaining words thing. This alphabet phonemic awareness slide, I think this has 26 different slides, one slide for each letter. This one has 100+ room templates. This one has hundreds of virtual libraries. This was something Bitmoji Craze for Educators put together. And they basically collected all the virtual libraries teachers have made and shared. And you can go here and choose popular titles, authors, subject matter, whatever you want, and you click on it and you will go to one of these zillions of libraries. Literally over, I think it was over 200 libraries here. And some of them are, you know, quick and not as interesting, and some of them are absolutely amazing. Some of them use safe YouTube, some of them don't for the read alouds. So, you know, you're responsible for checking them out and making sure that, you know, make them yours and make sure you know them and that you like them before you share them with students. But there are lots of resources there. Virtual room templates, there's tons of resources here too. It's 100+ rooms I've collected where you have all the links and stuff. So these are all editable. So if you see a room you really like, you might say, oh, I'm just going to copy this slide and then I'm going to put my Bitmoji in it, and maybe I don't want to use the alpha tail read alouds. I'll take out the alpha tail read alouds and put in my own stories. These at the top, I believe, are all linked to, each letter is linked to a, my thing is in the way. Starfall, you know how Starfall has an activity for every letter? Each of these letters are individually linked to a Starfall for that letter. So, you know, the links in these, the work that went into these slides are just amazing. There's a lot of resources in this bank of slides, and some of them are just like so beautiful. Like this is all books about Argentina and glasses of wine. Not so relevant for what I'm doing, but I just thought this room was so pretty. And there's just tons, different ability awareness. On the farm, zones of regulation, colors. Now some of these are libraries and some of them are more classroomy. Oh, happy birthday, a slide all about birthdays. If you have a birthday in your class and you want them just to listen to birthday songs and stories or whatever. I mean, it's almost limitless. It just goes on, and there's over 100 slides in this shared file right there for you to browse through. But let's see. If you go back to the templates, I'm not going to get this done by 10 o'clock. In the templates, but not inside of those folders, not in the notebook or VC collection, but in the templates folder overall, there are landing page templates that I found. Because I thought, okay, we're being asked to do landing pages. So I threw a bunch of different landing pages. These two are like app phone style where they're tall and skinny. But the others are different teachers' landing pages. The ones that are separate here have multiple pages that are linked. The ones I put in here are landing pages that are just single cover pages to think about, or that I've made a little bit tailored for us. This one is what I was thinking of doing for my playlist with the students, and I shared that with you, so you can cut and paste and put your own links in for your playlist if you wanted to do that. And there's different sort of game formats I put the playlist into. Oh my gosh, I'm tired of talking and I'm going to do this again at 10. Then there's this landing page collection of slides. At the top, at the front slide of the landing pages, there are some links you can cut and paste if you want. There's tech support links. These go right to Wareham Public School tech support link, because we were told on a landing page that there should be a link to tech support. This is a little summary of what I was told needs to be on our landing pages. You can certainly add more, but then I've used that little summary that I got from Andrea to create some landing pages. So here's a landing page based on my classroom I did last year with the links that they say should be included. Here's one that's based on Class Dojo. Here's one that was somebody's math room, but I just thought it was fun. And this is the alphabet that's connected to the Starfall letters letter that I thought was so nice. Here's one with the same basic landing page links, but just a different classroom that I thought was pretty. And you can change anything you want in this. All of this is editable, so you can put in your own posters. You can change the furniture. You can you can add links. The only thing that's already linked that I put in is the link to tech support.
Well, Laura, is it important though that we make a copy before we do that, or you just do it directly on there?
You're going to make a copy because I've shared everything as view only. So you're not going to be able to edit it on there. But if you take it, you highlight it so that the slide has these yellow lines around the outside, and you can make a copy. And then you take that copy and paste it in your new document, whatever document you create, whatever slideshow you create, and you got it going on. You're doing it.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Laura, can you add to other people's classrooms? Like, if two teachers were together, can somebody put their emoji in someone else's classroom?
Yes, if we share them.
Okay.
Yep. We just have to share them as editors, share as editor. Everything I shared with you in this VC resource file is shared as view only. So the only way you get access to all this stuff is by making your own copies. So anything you want, you just make a copy of it and then you have it, or you can access it through where it's shared by, you can copy things out of it, but you can't change My Documents.
Right.
Any other questions or anything before we go?
Laura, I have a
Yes.
question. So all of those things that you showed us, you shared, and all of that is in the resources?
Yes.
Okay.
If you click on this triangle at the end of that, on that website that I sent you the link to, that you got to the Zoom to through, if you click on the triangle under virtual classroom resources, it's the it's this little hut.
Yep.
So you click on the hut and you'll get to this site, then you click on the triangle and you get to the shared folder. The only time it will not work is if you are doing that logged into a personal account. It is shared with anybody in our school network that has the link. If you want to use it on your personal account, it'll prompt you to email me a request and I will definitely give you permission to use it from wherever you want.
Okay, thanks, Laura.
Yep. Any other questions? Oh, is everybody
yeah.
signed into the chat? Make sure you signed into the chat so you get counted for being present today. Please type your name in the chat if you have not already.
Okay, so from right now, in order to access the virtual classroom resource and stuff, we have to go back to the way we just came in today.
Yes.
And so
If you go to this website, does this look familiar, Ralph? What's on my screen?
that one is, because that's
Yep.
how I got
So
I got into
if you-
this
Okay, so you go to there and then you see this little house that says resources?
yes.
You click on that and that'll get you to
Okay.
where the link is for this.
So how do I get back into that first one you just showed? How do I get back to there?
I emailed you the link to this website.
Oh, okay.
You also can probably find it by going to your Google Drive and clicking on shared with me, and you'll find it there too, I assume.
Oh, okay. Google Drive, huh? Okay.
All
Laura,
right.
this was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh, good. I'm glad it was
my
useful.
gosh,
Laura, thank
Very
you.
amazing.
Do
Thank
we want to
you.
do, you're very welcome. It's my pleasure. I love this stuff. Does anybody feel like they want to do an afternoon Zoom? Let me know now and I'll plan for a 1 o'clock or something if it works for people.
I do, Laura. I'm on overload right now.
Yeah, it is a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot. Okay.
You should put one on anyway, and then those of us who want to jump in again.
Okay, I'll do a 1
Yeah.
p.m. Zoom that'll just be answers and questions and however I can help you. And I'll send
Okay.
it to
Yeah.
I'll send the link
Yeah.
to everybody.
Yeah, I'm
Thank you,
interested
Laura.
in
All right,
knowing
my pleasure.
Thanks, Laura.
how to do a
Thank
classroom.
you, Laura.
All right,
Thank
my
you.
pleasure. Thank you for joining us.
Laura,
Yes.
So now,
what's the 10:30 one?
yeah, now where do we go?
Is it 10:30 or is it 10 o'clock? I have to end this meeting and start the next meeting.
10 o'clock.
I'm going to give myself 2 minutes before I start the next meeting. You need
Bathroom
to
break.
Yeah, you need to go to the Zoom link from the website I sent you. to get
Okay.
there. Or maybe it's in calendar. I don't know. All right, I'm going to end now. Goodbye, friends. See you in
Bye.
2 minutes.
Bye,
Maybe.
thank you.
Yep, thank you. Oh, I have to copy the chat.
So the Zoom link is where?
It's on that map of the website.
Oh, okay. Got it.
How do I make a copy of this chat so I know who's here before I close this window? I don't know. File.
I'm going to the bathroom.
Okay, goodbye, friends. Thank you for joining us.